In the quiet town of Briar Hollow, everyone knew Elena Ward. They knew she was kind, clever, and possessed a beauty that seemed almost out of place. What they didn't know, or perhaps chose to ignore, was the dangerous orbit two men had formed around her. They circled her like wolves, their intentions hidden beneath the surface of small-town life. First, there was Thomas Hawley. He was the town carpenter, a man of few words with a temper he fought to keep buried. His hands were skilled with wood, but they trembled with a quiet intensity whenever Elena was near. Then there was Marcus Venn, a charming traveler whose stories of distant lands captivated everyone he met. He was a rolling stone, never staying in one place for long, until he laid eyes on Elena. He saw her not as a stop along the way, but as his destination. Elena, for her part, never encouraged either of them. She offered a polite smile, a friendly word, but always kept a careful distance. She was trying not to lead anyone on, not to cause any hurt. But obsession is a stubborn weed. It doesn't need encouragement to grow, only the dark soil of imagination. And both Thomas and Marcus had imaginations running wild. Each saw the other as an obstacle, a threat to the future they envisioned with her. The tension finally broke on the night of the annual Lantern Walk. It was a beloved tradition in Briar Hollow. The townsfolk would carry glowing lanterns through the winding paths of the forest, a symbolic gesture to guide lost spirits home. Elena walked with her friends, her laughter mixing with the crisp autumn air, her own lantern casting a warm, golden glow on her face. She was completely unaware that she was being followed. At a distance, hidden by the deepening shadows, Thomas and Marcus stalked her procession. Each man was convinced he was her protector, the only one who could save her from the other's dark intentions. As the group ventured deeper into the woods, the atmosphere began to shift. The cheerful glow of the lanterns seemed to flicker and dim, as if the forest itself was drawing the light into its embrace. The air grew colder and the familiar path narrowed, the ancient trees leaning in as if to listen. It was here, in the heart of the woods, that the two men finally collided. Their orbits of obsession had crossed a line. It started with words. They were sharp, laced with accusation and desperation. Then the words turned to shouts, echoing unnaturally among the silent trees. A moment later, there was a violent crash, the sound of something heavy, something forceful, tearing through the underbrush. Elena stopped and turned, a frown creasing her brow. The sound was jarring, out of place in the peaceful night, but the forest seemed to swallow it as quickly as it had appeared, leaving only an unsettling silence. Her friends, eager to get back to the warmth of the town, urged her to keep moving. It was probably just an animal, they said. She hesitated for a long moment, a shiver running down her spine that had nothing to do with the cold. Reluctantly, she turned and followed them. Behind her, unnoticed, the lanterns of the two men who followed her went out, one by one, plunging that part of the forest into absolute darkness. By the next morning, an uneasy quiet had fallen over Briar Hollow. Neither Thomas Hall nor Marcus Van had returned from the woods. Search parties were organized immediately. They combed every inch of the forest, their calls echoing through the trees. They found disturbing signs of a struggle, a chaotic mess of overlapping footprints, branches violently snapped, and a single crushed lantern lying in the dirt. But there was nothing else. No bodies, not a single drop of blood. No trail leading away from the scene. It was as if the two men had simply vanished from the face of the earth, swallowed by the silence of the woods. Elena tried to move on. She went about her days, trying to push the events of that night from her mind. She tried to forget the chilling feeling that the forest had been alive, that it had been watching them with an ancient, unknowing intelligence. But she couldn't shake the unnerving sense that something had been present in the darkness, and that it had made a choice. Weeks turned into a month. The town slowly returned to its routine, the mystery of the missing men becoming just another local ghost story. Then, one night, Elena was jolted from her sleep by a soft, rhythmic sound. Tap, tap, tap. It was coming from her bedroom window. Her heart pounding, she crept out of bed and cautiously pulled back the curtain. Hanging from the thick branch of the old oak tree just outside her home were 2 lanterns. They were identical to the ones used during the lantern walk. Both were lit, but they didn't flicker with the warm, gentle light of a flame. Instead, they cast a strange, pale, unearthly glow that seemed to pulse with a life of its own. Her eyes followed the light down the trunk of the tree. There, carved deep into the bark, were 2 sets of initials, side by side. Tied MV. It was a message, a delivery. As if the forest had returned what it had taken. As if it wanted her to know they were still out there, and they were waiting. Thank you for watching. If you enjoy stories that explore the darkness that lurks just beyond the light, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. We've got plenty more mysteries to uncover together.